Back when it was announced that Tears of the Kingdom, when it was simply known as the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, was going to be delayed, we saw a glimpse of a mysterious runic symbol on the back of Link's new green hand. Back then, it was very hard to discern what the symbol was or what it meant. However, recently, Nintendo showcased a life-size statue of Link at Nintendo Live 2022, sporting the new green hand, one whose pose will most definitely be on both artwork of Link as well as amiibos whenever those are announced, just like it did with Breath of the Wild. And on the back of Link's hand, believe it or not, was the same symbol from that one shot, in much clearer definition this time around. I enlarged and modified the image to be a perfect circle, to better showcase the symbol, as well as drew it to better depict it. This is a first official and clear look at the symbol on Link's green hand. However, initially, we couldn't really figure out what the symbol meant. We were stumped, until a user by the name of... I'm not gonna try to attempt to say that name, proposed that it could actually be the kanji for time. And then everything clicked. There was a reason why the symbol glowed yellow. There was a reason why both Stasis and the newly shown ability in Tears of the Kingdom glowed yellow. Yellow is the color for time. Stasis stopped the flow of time of an object to store kinetic energy, and this new ability in Tears of the Kingdom reverses time and returns an object to its point of origin. Interestingly enough, in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, the power of slowing down time of the Time Mask was also the color yellow, something to consider. But this isn't just a simple kanji. As I mentioned before, it is stylized. This symbol seems to be based on the Oracle Bone writings, the antecessors of the modern kanji, in this case, the Oracle Bone writings of the concept of time. This ability, being depicted in a stylized kanji, is identical to how Monado abilities were portrayed in Xenoblade Chronicles, each having a kanji to depict it, each represented by a different color. And this definitely might be the inspiration behind it, as Monolith Soft has been working on both Breath of the Wild as well as Tears of the Kingdom. Even Breath of the Wild has the Xenoblade Chronicles set added in an update. It's more than clear that this is the inspiration behind the kanji powers. As the green hand is replacing the Sheikah Slate in functionality, this yellow ability will be one of the new abilities we will be obtaining in our adventure. Another of these abilities we've already seen as well, the power to ascend and phase through solid ground, which glows with an ethereal green. This ability bears a striking resemblance to Revali's Gale, both being abilities used to ascend, and both being represented by the color green. Do you start to see the pattern here? It is my belief that the 4 Sheikah Rune abilities and the 4 champion abilities will be translated and reinvented into abilities for the green hand. 8 new abilities that Link will uncover during his adventure. And then, it once again clicked. 8 is a very significant number in Zelda when it comes to abilities, as many games of the series have specifically 8 dungeons followed by a final dungeon. 8 dungeons and 8 abilities to obtain. So, I began to think that perhaps each hand ability could very well be similar, yet also different to the abilities we obtained in Breath of the Wild. And that is what we will discuss in today's video, the possible new abilities of the green hand. We've already discussed 2 of these abilities. The yellow power is represented by time, and we saw that Stasis was the rune of time manipulation of the Sheikah Slate. This time, we have a yellow time reversal ability, which is used with the green hand. The green power used to phase through walls after rising in the air, similarly to Revali's Gale, could be represented by the kanji for ascend, that being the linking ability between both games, of course being represented by the color green. So what about the others? Let's start with the remaining champion abilities first. Mipha's Grace is represented with the color blue, and it restored the hero to full health upon death, similar to fairies. I believe this ability could be a healing ability, one you could use at will, perhaps at the expense of these vials on Link's wayside, which could serve as a magic meter. This ability could be represented by a stylized depiction of the kanji for heal. Of course, this ability could be entirely different and have a more useful purpose to interact with the environment and dungeon puzzles. Then we have Daruk's Protection, which is represented with the color orange. When used, it generated a protective orange shield around Link. In Tears of the Kingdom, we could see a similar shield ability to protect us from harm, although I am unsure how it could be made unique to Daruk's Protection. This ability could be represented by the kanji for shield. And here is where I want to deviate your attention for a second to the runes from the murals in the most recent trailer, as I may be onto something with the runes in question. You see, one of the runes bears a striking resemblance to the kanji for shield, most specifically its seal script when mirrored, which apparently the mirrored version was used for carvings instead of the traditional writing on paper which was not mirrored. What sealed the deal for me was that this symbol also had what appeared to be an eye symbol, and lo and behold, that is exactly what the shield kanji has, as one of its parts that forms it is the kanji for eye. Therefore, if this ability is to be a shield, this could very well be its symbol. I am, however, unsure about the other symbols on the mural. This definitely needs more research. And finally, we have Urbosa's Fury, represented with the color amber. The primary function of this ability is a ranged area attack. We could be getting another area attack akin to Urbosa's Fury in Tears of the Kingdom, represented by the color amber, although I am unsure what this ability could do to differentiate it from Urbosa's Fury. It could be some kind of shockwave emanating from Link outwards, so perhaps the kanji for this ability could be wave. Then we have the three remaining Sheikah runes. Let's first start with Magnesis. This ability is represented by the color red, allowing for the user to pick up metallic objects using two energy tendrils emanating from a giant red magnet. We could get an ability akin to Heracles' strength from Immortals Phoenix Rising, which granted it is based on Magnesis from Breath of the Wild. However, I would like to take this further and propose an extendable red arm akin to the whip or hookshot, which not only could allow picking up heavy objects as well as objects which are far away, but also swing from poles, similar to the grappling hook in the Wind Waker or the whip in Skyward Sword, steal items from enemies, and reach higher places like with the hookshot. I strongly believe that an ability like this could come to be in the game, as not only was it conceptualized in a concept art which inspired the Green Hand, but Nintendo also implemented a hookshot in Breath of the Wild early in development, a tool they later removed as it came into conflict with their vision of climbing to all locations. However, with Sky Islands now being added and vertical traversal being separated by large gaps, an ability like this would be perfect. This could be represented by the kanji for whip, and as mentioned before, it will be represented by the color red. Then we have Cryonis, represented by the color cyan, which allowed Link to create pillars of ice from the surface of any body of water, including waterfalls, while also being limited to creating 3 at a time. With the Sky Islands being separated by great distances both vertically and horizontally, I feel that an interesting addition could be the ability to create temporary floating platforms in the air, freezing the air or even the clouds to create platforms that float in the sky, also being limited to 3 uses. As this ability could freeze the air, like Cryonis freezes the water creating pillars, the kanji used could be freeze. And finally, We have the final rune, remote bombs, spherical or cube-shaped bombs that are detonated manually after the press of a button. Similar to the whip, this same concept art depicts Link's hand transformed into a cannon which shoots out bombs. I believe this would be a perfect replacement for the remote bombs, one which could even be used while free falling, similar to the bow and arrow. Therefore, I believe the kanji for this ability could be cannon. However, as it is also represented by the color blue, I thought it wise if it were represented by the last remaining color of the rainbow, purple, to set it aside from the others. Of course, this is purely speculation. These abilities could be very different in the game. This is merely a prediction based on the information we do know. The main purpose of this video was to share the information of the symbol seen on the hand, which could very well be the kanji for time. So we will have to wait and see how well these predictions hold out. Do you agree with my predictions? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of future uploads. Also, consider following me on Twitter and Instagram to stay in touch. This has been Zelda Lore, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.